get ready for major tricks and treats. And to scream with delight. Because we're bringing you two of the most horrifying homes you'll ever see on Extreme Cribs.
This is where we keep all of our real human bits and pieces.
Ever wondered what it's like to live with the undead? Well, you're about to find out. From creepy closets to comfy coffins, these scary sanctuaries are all about the monstrous and the macabre.
There's even a cow fetus in here somewhere.
So enter at your own risk.
We like to call him Wolf Boy.
First up, Cordelia cordially invites you to the terrifically terrifying Trundle Manor.
Your soul is ours. Congratulations, you've now become part of the manor.
Then, Jessica and Sandra show off their family domain that's modeled after the Munster Mansion.
Do we have spot underneath the staircase? Of course we do.
So don't get caught up in the cobwebs. You won't want to miss a minute of the horror edition of Extreme Cribs.
It's probably better that you just not see the rest of this. Hello, my name is Cordelia Igor. Welcome to the Trundle Manor. We're very excited to have you. Won't you please come in? My name is Alexa, but I am better known in this weird and wonderful home as Cordelia Igor, servant extraordinaire to the masters of the manor, Mr. Arm and Velda von Minx. Inspired by vintage monster movie posters and taxidermy, Mr. Arm and Mistress von Minx spent the past decade acquiring and creating our curious collection of curated critters and monstrous mementos. From preserved pets to coffin couches, every corner of our home is a feast for the eyes. So step inside and see the fantastic world we live in every day. Welcome to Trundle Manor. If you'd like to follow me, we'll begin the tour in the dining room.
Everything in the household, we center on the odd and the unusual. We try to collect just the weirder pieces or the pieces that maybe a villain in a movie would have sitting next to him.
It's a very strange atmosphere.
In this cabinet here is where you find the beginnings of our taxidermy collection and our things in jars. Starting with an exhibit that's very dear to my heart. This is our cat. It was the very first thing I ever skinned in this house. The cat belonged to a good friend of Velda von Minx. It passed away of natural causes, and she donated it to the manor. She will stop in and say hello to her cat. She's very happy to see that it has a warm and loving home, even if it is in a slightly altered state.
There is something beautiful, too, in a strange way, about seeing life forever preserved in liquid in front of your eyes, and you can see it and appreciate it forever.
Here we have Lilliputian Arm, who is Mr. Arm's mutant half-self, I guess would be the best thing we could say.
What are you doing in my nightmare?
If you'd like to proceed with me into the kitchen, I can see that Master Arm and Velda von Minx have begun preparing something new for the manor.
We're just pulling things apart for our jarred species exhibits. I'm working on octopus here. If you're a very special guest here at Trundle Manor, you get what we like to call is the beginning of a wonderful collection.
If you don't mind, I'll take them through the rest of the house, sir.
Please do get them out of our hair.
Very well. We'll enter into the foyer. Over here is where we have our human reliquary. This is where we keep all of our real human bits and pieces. Everything from Mr. Arm's original mustache to teeth even some skin with a tattoo on it. No idea where we got this. I'm a little afraid to ask. This here is the most magnificent piece that we have at the manor. This is Olivia's tumor. This magnificent piece of the human body was removed from the belly of a belly dancer. Olivia herself is very okay, she is healthy, she is happy, and she graciously donated it to us, provided that we provide her with this rather spectacular display.
Everybody has a reaction to Tumor, I think, is probably the biggest thing.
Just because it comes from the human body and it's such a big anomaly of flesh that we get people that are just drawn straight to that.
Welcome to our parlor, the main room of the house. This is Vince, our organ grinder. Organ player, that's what I meant. This is the start of the collection. It is where it all began and where it's kind of exploded into the rest of the house. Here is where we have our candy case, which we actually did get from a very, very old pharmacy. It was given to us on the assumption that we would be filling it with candy. And we have, just our very own brand of candy. Here is where you find all of the main collection of animals, taxidermy, and strange things added to the collection post-mortem. There's also a number of firsts in this particular cabinet. The very first animals that were ever jarred by Mr. Arm himself. There's a small collection of frogs, reptiles. There's even a cow fetus in here somewhere.
I've been in love with things in jars since I was a little kid. My dad would make me watch the old Frankenstein movies where there's always a jar full of eyeballs or hands, and that always fascinated me and felt like that was normal.
Another first are these two lovely little squirrels up here. Velda von Minx came to the house for a tour, and Mr. Arm invited her back to cut up squirrels in his basement. Naturally, she agreed, and thus was born the couple that you now know.
They're bride and groom now because I made little costumes for them. Someday we hope that they'll be our wedding cake topper, but just for sentimental reasons, they probably have to be my favorite.
Coming up, see what secrets lie around this loathsome lair.
Like any good haunted mansion, you need to have your secret rooms. If you'd like to follow me, we can head upstairs and I can show you some of the different spaces that we also live in. If you manage to make it on our Wheel of Fortune here, you may enter the Strangled Magpie. Your soul is ours. Congratulations, you've now become part of the manor. As such, that means that I can allow you special admittance into this room. As you can see, it is far less the gothic, creepy theme from downstairs. There's a lot of places to kind of sit and relax and just have a good time. Everything from our homemade bar where you can have a drink to our incredibly comfortable coffin couch, one of my favorite places to be chilling. This is our friend Courtney.
Hello.
She has spent many a night on this couch.
Very cozy, more comfortable than you think a coffin might be.
Like any good haunted mansion, you need to have your secret rooms. Up here is where we find the headquarters of the SSOA.
The SSOA is an organization that was put together for mainly people that collect the strange, much like we are. They like to keep their lives a little tucked away.
We have many, many rites of passage and various things one must go through in order to enter the SSOA. I would love to tell you about them, but as cliched as it sounds, if I did, I would have to kill you, and then I too would be killed. We're going to leave now, and before we do, it's probably better that you just not see the rest of this. Well, I see you managed to make it out alive. Congratulations, not many do. I would like to introduce you to Trixie. This beautiful 1952 Dodge truck was completely redone by Mr. Arm. Everything from the hand-welded cow catcher on the front to the 8-foot flames that come out of the exhaust. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the height of creepy and wonderful automobiles. She is meant to look like a circus, so we have the lovely tent. Every good Frankenstein vehicle needs Frankenstein switches to start it. And of course, we had to bring in some of our taxidermy. Again, with the squirrel theme. So here we have this little guy with his little blue human eyes. And naturally, bring out our tentacles, because you always got to have a tentacle involved in everything.
This is what we do every day, and it's very exciting to be able to share that with everybody, to share our vision and our weirdness.
We're just happy to bring a little bit of wonder to the rest of the world, somewhat. If we can, we'll just do it one family at a time.
That about wraps it up for our tour of Trundle Manor. I hope we were able to bring a little bit of the bizarre and wonderful to you in your world this afternoon. Right now, I have to get back inside and help the master and mistress with the manor itself. Otherwise, I could get fired, and I mean that quite literally. Thank you all so much for coming. Have a nice afternoon.
Hey guys, I'm Jessica.
I'm Sandra, and welcome to the Munster Mansion.
We can't wait to show y'all around. My family's claim to fame in the neighborhood is our very unusual house. It was built from the ground up to be a working replica of the macabre mansion from our favorite old TV show, The Munsters. We've worked really hard to get every detail right. For us, it's like living in our favorite TV show every day, and we wouldn't want to live anywhere else. So come in and check out our special, one-of-a-kind home.
As you can see, the entryway is an exact replica of the 60s sitcom, The Munsters. We went to great lengths to recreate the staircase and several things in here to look just like the Munster show.
When we built it from watching a TV show. There were no blueprints because the house never existed. When we first move in, we build it to where it's comfortable for us to live in. And then as we go and research and she finds things, it gets changed up.
Of course, the first things you're going to want to know, do we have Spot underneath the staircase? Of course we do.
Spot is Eddie's pet dinosaur. If you remember when the Munsters came on, it always had the staircase open and Spot was right there looking out as Eddie went off to school.
One of the great things about the Munster Mansion, of course, would be the coffin telephone. I didn't really want a coffin in the home, so we had one built to look like a coffin.
And this is the only coffin I'll be getting in anytime soon. And this is not only a prop, it's a real working phone, so it's a good place to come have some privacy when you have an important call to make. Hey guys, here we are in the Munsters living room. It's also our living room. We have a lot of things that are exact replicas from the TV show.
Some of the important things in here, of course, would be Grandpa's electric chair.
It's also a great timeout chair for little kids.
You know the Munsters love to sit around the organ and sing songs all the time. So, of course, we searched and searched until we found the exact organ that would match the show. Another famous thing about the living room of the Munster house would be Grandpa's dungeon. As you see, we have a railing on our dungeon door, and one year we had a lady that was in here. She was looking around at all the lights and everything in the room, and she backed in and fell inside the dungeon.
All the way down.
All the way, yes. So now we keep the railing around to make it a little safer.
Next, touch anything in the Munsters Mansion and you might get locked up.
Here is Eddie's cage. He had his little pet alligator down there.
You guys are gonna love this. This is upstairs where all the characters' bedrooms are, and it's some of the coolest places in the whole house. Now we're in Grandpa's room.
This was his favorite room. This is where he lounged around all the time. This is his slab. This is where he slept at nighttime. But when he got tired of sleeping on the slab, Grandpa would hang out in his closet. Of course, you can see his coffins in here, too.
And this is what scared the crap out of my daughter when she was a baby. We like to call him Wolf Boy. All right, so here we are in Eddie's room. It's where all the cute kids are hanging out.
As we all know, Eddie Munster was a wolf boy, okay? This here is Eddie's cage. He had his little pet alligator down there. Over here is Spot's food. This is Doggy Din Din. This is where Eddie would open the food and feed Spot underneath the staircase.
And the best part about this room is that once you get all the kids in here playing, it's really easy to sneak out. All right, here we are on the other side. Hopefully we lost the kids.
This here is Lily's room. For me, it's one of the most important rooms of the house because it is my room.
This is also the room where all the Munster magic happens.
When we come into the house, we don't see the staircase and the coffin phone or any of that stuff. We see our living room, our bedroom, our kitchen. I really don't see much difference. We go on our life just like everything else. You know, it's a normal place for us.
Okay, guys, now that you've seen the Munster Mansion and our home and the way we live,
We hope y'all enjoyed it, and y'all are welcome back anytime. Bye.
bye.
Next time on Extreme Cribs. Go full circle in these dazzling domes. Slink around in this stained glass-filled sanctuary. And spin the wheel in this fishbowl of a fortress. All this and so much more on the next edition of Extreme Cribs.
Everywhere you look, there's something to look at.